Tonight we're diving into the deepest mystery on our own planet. What if something vast, ancient and intelligent has been hiding in the unexplored depths of our oceans all along? Something that's been watching us, waiting in the darkness miles below the surface. If you enjoy these deep ocean sleep stories that explore the unknown on our own world, hit that like button and subscribe for more. And drop a comment letting me know what time it is where you are and where you're listening from. I love hearing from fellow mystery seekers worldwide. Alright, let's begin. The Pacific Ocean stretches before us like an endless mirror of blue-black glass, its surface betraying nothing of the mysteries that lie beneath. At 36,000 feet below the waves, in the deepest trenches of our planet, water pressure reaches 1,100 times greater than at sea level. Here, in perpetual darkness, temperatures hover just above freezing at 2 degrees Celsius. Scientists have mapped less than 20% of our ocean floors, leaving over 300 million square kilometers of seafloor completely unexplored. But what if, in those unmapped depths, something vast and ancient has been watching us all along? Consider this. The human brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons, creating a network of staggering complexity. Yet the ocean contains roughly 1.37 billion cubic kilometers of water, with currents that span thousands of kilometers and connect every continent on Earth. These currents carry nutrients, regulate temperature, and sustain life across the globe in patterns so intricate that our most powerful supercomputers struggle to model them accurately. What if this isn't just physics and chemistry at work? What if the ocean itself has achieved something far more extraordinary than we ever dared imagine? The morning sun casts long shadows across the research vessel Endeavour as it cuts through the swells 800 kilometers southwest of the Mariana Islands. Dr. Elena Vasquez adjusts the controls on the deep-sea submersible's sonar array, preparing for another descent into the Challenger Deep. At 11,034 meters below sea level, this represents the deepest known point in Earth's oceans. Yet recent surveys suggest even greater depths may exist in unexplored regions. The water pressure at these depths reaches 1,095 times atmospheric pressure, equivalent to having 50 jumbo jets pressing down on every square meter of surface. As the submersible Orpheus begins its 3-hour descent, passing through layers of ocean that have remained unchanged for millions of years, something unprecedented appears on the sonar screens. Instead of the expected scattered readings from marine life, the instruments detect patterns. Not random distributions of fish or squid, but organized formations spanning hundreds of square kilometers. The biomass readings suggest concentrations of living tissue that dwarf anything previously documented in scientific literature. At depths where sunlight has never penetrated, where the pressure would instantly crush any surface-dwelling creature, these formations appear to be communicating. Low-frequency vibrations pulse through the water at precisely 8.7 Hz, a frequency that resonates perfectly with the natural harmonic patterns of ocean currents. These aren't the chaotic sounds of deep-sea creatures hunting or mating. They're organized, rhythmic, almost musical. The patterns repeat across thousands of kilometers, suggesting a communication network that spans ocean basins. The ocean covers 71% of Earth's surface, containing 99% of our planet's habitable space by volume. Within this vast realm, currents transport 150 million cubic meters of water every second through the global circulation system. The Gulf Stream alone carries 30 times more water than all the world's rivers combined, moving at speeds of up to 2.5 meters per second. These currents have maintained their patterns for thousands of years, but recent satellite data reveals subtle changes that marine scientists are struggling to explain. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice sheets, where the Ross Sea extends into darkness, oceanographic sensors detect temperature variations that shouldn't exist. At depths of 4,000 meters, localized warm spots create thermal anomalies spanning areas larger than entire countries. The heat signatures suggest metabolic activity on a scale that challenges our understanding of marine ecosystems. Traditional models predict total biomass in the deep ocean should measure approximately 1 billion tons globally. Yet these readings suggest concentrations in single locations that exceed those estimates. The implications become more startling when we consider the ocean's role in global climate regulation. Marine organisms produce over 50% of the oxygen in our atmosphere, with microscopic phytoplankton generating roughly 270 billion tons of oxygen annually. But what if larger, more complex organisms exist in the depths, contributing to atmospheric regulation in ways we've never detected? What if the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth isn't maintained by countless small creatures, but orchestrated by something far more sophisticated? In the laboratories of the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, marine biologist Dr. James Chen studies acoustic recordings from deep ocean monitoring stations. The data reveals communication patterns that extend across entire ocean basins, with signal propagation times that suggest coordination between marine life, separated by thousands of kilometers. Sound travels through water at approximately 1,500 meters per second, meaning messages could traverse the Pacific Ocean in roughly 6 hours. The recordings show synchronized responses to these long-distance signals, as if vast regions of ocean life are responding to centralized commands. The mystery deepens when we examine the ocean's mineral composition. Seawater contains approximately 35 grams of dissolved salts per kilogram, including trace amounts of virtually every element found on Earth. The total dissolved mineral content of our oceans represents roughly 50 quadrillion tons of material, with concentrations that remain remarkably stable across vast distances. This stability requires active regulation, yet no known biological or geological process can account for the precision of these distributions. Consider the case of rare earth elements in deep ocean trenches. Recent surveys detect concentrations of neodymium, europium, and other critical minerals that appear to be actively concentrated in specific locations. These accumulations don't match known geological processes or hydrothermal vent activity. Instead, they suggest active collection and organization by unknown mechanisms. The mineral deposits contain geometric patterns that repeat across multiple trench systems, as if following a deliberate design. Marine archaeologists working off the coast of Japan have discovered what appear to be artificial structures at depths of 6,000 meters. These formations, composed primarily of compressed sediment and organic materials, extend across areas larger than Manhattan. The structures show evidence of internal chambers and passages, with acoustic properties that amplify and direct sound waves. Carbon dating of organic materials within these formations yields ages exceeding 50,000 years, predating known human civilization by millennia. The financial implications of these discoveries have not gone unnoticed by government agencies and private corporations. The global ocean economy generates approximately $3 trillion annually, with marine resources supporting the livelihoods of over 3 billion people worldwide. Deep-sea mining operations, currently extracting minerals worth hundreds of billions of dollars, report equipment failures and unexplained interference in regions where these anomalous readings are strongest. Autonomous mining vehicles designed to withstand pressures exceeding 1,000 atmospheres return to the surface with damage patterns that suggest intelligent interference rather than natural hazards. Intelligence agencies from major world powers have begun classifying certain oceanographic research as matters of national security. The United States Navy operates approximately 70 submarines worldwide, each equipped with advanced sonar systems capable of detecting objects at ranges exceeding 100 kilometers. classified reports from submarine commanders describe encounters with unidentified submerged objects exhibiting movement patterns and speeds that exceed the capabilities of known marine life or human technology. These encounters often occur in regions where the ocean floor has never been properly mapped. The Mariana Trench, despite being the most studied deep-sea location on Earth, still contains areas where the actual seafloor depth remains unknown. Side-scan sonar surveys reveal massive structures that appear artificial in origin, with dimensions that dwarf human engineering projects. One such structure, designated only by its coordinates in classified documents, measures over 12 kilometers in length and rises nearly 2 kilometers from the seafloor, making it larger than Mount McKinley. The biological diversity of deep ocean ecosystems continues to yield discoveries that challenge our understanding of life on Earth. Scientists estimate that between 500,000 and 2 million species inhabit the deep sea, with new species discovered at a rate of approximately 2,000 per year. Many of these creatures exhibit characteristics that seem impossible according to conventional biology. Organisms living at depths where pressure should prevent the formation of gas-filled swim bladders somehow maintain neutral buoyancy. Creatures in regions completely devoid of sunlight produce their own light with efficiency that exceeds human technology. Recent expeditions to the Puerto Rico Trench have documented bioluminescent displays that span hundreds of square kilometers. These coordinated light patterns pulse in sequences that repeat every 11 minutes and 37 seconds, with timing precision that suggests artificial control. The intensity of these displays, measured in lumens per square meter, rivals the brightness of city lighting when viewed from space. Yet no known deep-sea organism possesses the energy reserves necessary to sustain such displays. The chemistry of deep ocean water itself presents puzzles that marine scientists are only beginning to understand. Dissolved oxygen levels at abyssal depths should be insufficient to support large populations of higher organisms, yet biomass readings suggest thriving ecosystems. The oxygen concentration at 6,000 meters depth typically measures less than 2 milligrams per liter, barely sufficient for simple microbial life. However, recent measurements detect localized regions where oxygen levels exceed surface concentrations, reaching supersaturation levels that require active production by photosynthetic or chemosynthetic processes. These oxygen-rich zones coincide with areas of anomalous seismic activity. The ocean floor experiences thousands of earthquakes daily, most too small to detect without sensitive instruments. However, seismographs positioned near these oxygen anomalies record vibrations that don't match known geological processes. The frequency patterns suggest artificial generation, with precisely timed pulses that maintain harmonic relationships with tidal cycles and planetary rotation. The magnetic properties of seawater also exhibit unexplained variations in these regions. Earth's magnetic field, which varies in intensity from 25 to 65 microteslas at the planet's surface, shows distinct distortions above certain deep ocean locations. These magnetic anomalies form patterns that repeat across different ocean basins, suggesting a common source or controlling mechanism. The field strength variations exceed what known geological formations or mineral deposits could produce. Navigation systems aboard ships and aircraft frequently malfunction when passing over these magnetic anomalies. GPS satellites, which maintain positional accuracy within 3 meters under normal conditions, show errors exceeding 100 meters in these regions. Commercial shipping lanes have been quietly rerouted to avoid areas where compass readings become unreliable, and electronic navigation fails. The temperature regulation of Earth's oceans represents one of the planet's most critical systems for maintaining climate stability. The ocean absorbs approximately 93% of excess heat generated by greenhouse gas emissions, storing roughly 2,000 times more heat energy than the atmosphere. This thermal buffer prevents catastrophic climate changes that would otherwise make much of the planet uninhabitable. Recent data suggest this heat absorption isn't passive but actively regulated through mechanisms that current climate models cannot explain. Deep ocean temperature monitoring stations detect coordinated changes in water temperature across vast regions, with thermal adjustments that occur simultaneously across multiple ocean basins. These temperature shifts don't correlate with known weather patterns, solar radiation cycles, or volcanic activity. Instead, they appear to respond to atmospheric conditions in ways that suggest predictive rather than reactive behavior. Marine meteorologists studying hurricane formation have documented instances where storm systems weaken or strengthen in response to deep ocean temperature changes that precede rather than follow atmospheric conditions. Hurricane Isabel, which formed in September 2003, exhibited erratic behavior as it passed over a region of the Atlantic where deep ocean temperatures had increased by exactly 2 degrees Celsius 12 hours before the storm's arrival. Similar patterns have been observed with typhoons in the Pacific, suggesting active weather modification through deep ocean thermal manipulation. The economic disruption caused by these unexplained ocean phenomena extends far beyond scientific curiosity. Global shipping routes carry 90% of international trade, representing cargo worth approximately $14 trillion annually. When navigation systems fail or equipment suffers unexplained damage in certain ocean regions, insurance companies face claims that threaten the viability of maritime commerce. Lloyd's of London, the world's largest marine insurance market, has quietly increased premiums for vessels transiting specific deep ocean routes, citing anomalous risk factors in internal documents. Fishing Fleet's report catches that defy established patterns of marine population distribution. Commercial vessels operating in regions where these deep-sea anomalies are most pronounced consistently return with fish species that shouldn't exist at those latitudes or depths. Genetic analysis of these specimens reveals adaptations that suggest rapid evolutionary changes occurring over timeframes measured in months rather than millennia. The implications for marine food chains are staggering. Traditional models predict that deep ocean ecosystems support approximately 2% of global marine biomass, with primary productivity limited by the absence of sunlight for photosynthesis. However, isotopic analysis of specimens from anomalous regions reveals carbon signatures that don't match known food sources. These organisms appear to derive energy from chemical processes that haven't been documented in marine biology textbooks. Underwater volcanic activity, while naturally occurring throughout the ocean floor, shows patterns of coordination that suggest artificial triggering mechanisms. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge, the underwater mountain range that spans 14,000 kilometers from the Arctic Ocean to the Southern Ocean, normally experiences seismic activity at random intervals. Recent monitoring reveals that eruptions along different sections of the ridge occur in synchronized patterns, with timing that correlates with lunar cycles and planetary alignments. These coordinated volcanic events release massive quantities of minerals and heat into the surrounding water, creating temporary ecosystems that support unusual concentrations of marine life. The mineral content of these volcanic emissions exceeds typical magma compositions, containing elements that should remain deep within Earth's mantle. The presence of artificial isotopes in these emissions suggests contamination from sources that shouldn't exist in natural geological processes. Deep-sea mining corporations have invested billions of dollars in equipment designed to extract minerals from the ocean floor, yet operations frequently encounter obstacles that threaten project viability. Autonomous underwater vehicles built to withstand extreme pressure and navigate in complete darkness suffer systematic failures when approaching certain mineral-rich regions. The failure patterns suggest targeted interference rather than random equipment malfunctions. The technology required for deep-sea operations represents humanity's most advanced engineering achievements. Remotely operated vehicles capable of diving to 11,000 meters depth cost approximately $50 million each and require years of development. These machines incorporate titanium pressure hulls, fiber optic communication systems, and manipulator arms capable of precise operations in crushing darkness. When such sophisticated equipment fails consistently in specific locations, the implications extend far beyond technical problems. Satellite monitoring of ocean surfaces reveals patterns that become visible only when analysed across continental scales and multi-year timeframes. Ocean colour changes, typically caused by variations in phytoplankton populations, show synchronized shifts across ocean basins separated by thousands of kilometers. These color changes don't correlate with seasonal variations, temperature cycles, or nutrient distributions. Instead, they suggest coordinated responses to unknown stimuli. The electromagnetic signature of the ocean itself presents puzzles that challenge our understanding of planetary physics. Seawater, with its high mineral content, conducts electricity efficiently, generating electromagnetic fields as currents flow through Earth's magnetic field. However, recent measurements detect electromagnetic emissions from deep ocean regions that exceed what natural conductivity should produce. These emissions occur in frequency ranges that interfere with radio communications and satellite transmissions. Military communication systems designed to maintain contact with submerged submarines through extremely low-frequency radio waves experience interference that follows patterns too regular to be natural phenomena. The interference occurs in precisely timed bursts that repeat every 4 hours and 23 minutes, coinciding with the rotation period of Jupiter's largest moon, Io. This astronomical correlation suggests either remarkable coincidence or evidence of intelligence capable of monitoring celestial mechanics. The chemical composition of deep ocean water samples reveals trace elements that shouldn't exist in natural seawater. Artificially produced isotopes, created only in nuclear reactors or particle accelerators, appear in concentrations that suggest large-scale industrial processes operating in the deep ocean. The isotope ratios don't match any known nuclear waste disposal or weapons testing programs, implying unknown sources of advanced technology. Marine biologists studying whale migration patterns document behavioral changes that suggest responses to stimuli beyond human detection capabilities. Humpback whales, which typically follow predictable migration routes covering up to 25,000 kilometers annually, have begun deviating from established patterns. These deviations occur simultaneously across different whale populations separated by entire ocean basins, suggesting communication or coordination mechanisms that transcend individual pod behavior. The acoustic signatures of whale songs themselves have evolved in ways that marine acousticians find difficult to explain. Traditional whale songs, which can travel hundreds of kilometers through ocean water, now include frequency components that weren't present in recordings from previous decades. These new frequency ranges correspond precisely to the resonant frequencies detected in deep ocean monitoring stations, suggesting that marine mammals are incorporating artificial signals into their natural communication systems. Oceanographic research vessels equipped with the most advanced scientific instruments available continue to encounter phenomena that challenge fundamental assumptions about marine ecosystems. Water samples from depths exceeding 8,000 meters contain microorganisms with genetic sequences that don't match any known species in biological databases. These organisms exhibit metabolic processes that operate at efficiencies approaching theoretical limits, suggesting evolutionary optimization that should require millions of years to develop. The pressure tolerance of these deep-sea microorganisms exceeds what laboratory experiments suggest should be possible for carbon-based life. Organisms thriving at pressures exceeding 1,000 atmospheres demonstrate cellular structures that maintain integrity under conditions that would instantly destroy surface-dwelling life forms. The mechanisms enabling this pressure tolerance involve molecular adaptations that suggest directed rather than random evolutionary processes. Global climate monitoring systems detect correlations between deep ocean phenomena and atmospheric conditions that imply active rather than passive environmental regulation. Carbon dioxide concentrations in the atmosphere, which have increased steadily due to human industrial activity, show localized variations that correlate with anomalous regions in the deep ocean. These variations suggest active absorption and processing of atmospheric gases by unknown mechanisms operating at oceanic scales. The implications for global climate change scenarios become profound when considering the possibility of active environmental management by unknown intelligences. Current climate models assume that oceanic systems respond predictably to atmospheric changes, but evidence suggests that deep ocean processes may actively regulate planetary conditions. If true, this would fundamentally alter our understanding of humanity's impact on global climate systems. Commercial satellite imagery reveals surface manifestations of deep ocean phenomena that become apparent only through careful analysis of multispectral data. Ocean surface temperatures show geometric patterns that extend across areas larger than entire countries, with temperature gradients that maintain precise mathematical relationships. These patterns persist for months at a time, suggesting active maintenance rather than natural formation. The geometric precision of these surface patterns implies intelligence capable of manipulating oceanic systems on continental scales. The energy requirements for such manipulation would exceed current human technological capabilities by several orders of magnitude. The coordination required to maintain these patterns across multiple ocean basins simultaneously suggests organizational capabilities that transcend individual intelligence and approach something resembling collective consciousness. Deep ocean exploration continues to reveal structures and phenomena that expand our understanding of what may be possible within Earth's marine environments. Each new discovery raises questions that challenge established scientific paradigms, while opening possibilities that stretch the limits of human imagination. As we stand at the edge of these vast blue depths, we must confront the possibility that we share our planet with intelligences that have remained hidden in the abyss, watching and perhaps guiding the development of life on Earth in ways we are only beginning to comprehend. The ocean keeps its secrets well, but the evidence suggests that something vast, ancient and aware dwells in the depths, orchestrating processes that maintain the delicate balance of our living world. Whether this intelligence views humanity as a curiosity, a threat, or simply another species struggling to survive in the complex web of planetary life remains unknown. What seems certain is that the ocean holds mysteries that will forever change our understanding of consciousness, intelligence, and our place in the cosmos once they are finally revealed.